Hello everyone, welcome to my channel.
I'm Emma, and I'm 18. 3 hours ago, I was blowing out candles on a grocery store cake my mother bought as an afterthought. Now I'm standing on the sidewalk holding garbage bags filled with my entire life. You're a parasite! My mother screams from the doorway, her face twisted with rage I've seen simmering my whole life. Go live under a bridge. The neighbors are watching now, peeking through curtains like this is some kind of afternoon entertainment. And honestly, maybe it is. Maybe my life has been nothing but a tragic comedy for their viewing pleasure. The heavy bags cut into my palms as I stand there, 18 years old and legally homeless. Happy birthday to me, right? My mother slams the door so hard the windows rattle. The finality of that sound hits me harder than her words. This isn't a fight. This isn't one of our usual arguments where she'd eventually cool down. This is it. Where are you watching from today? Drop your location in the comments below and hit that like and subscribe button if you've ever felt completely abandoned by the people who were supposed to love you. You'll definitely want to stick around for what happened next. You probably think this came out of nowhere, but let me tell you how I got here. My mother, Rebecca Torres, never wanted me. Not when her married boyfriend disappeared the moment she told him about the pregnancy. Not when she had to raise me alone. And definitely not when I reminded her every day of the man who abandoned her. She fed me, clothed me, kept me alive because that's what the law required. But love, affection, those were luxuries she decided I didn't deserve. Every milestone in my life was met with indifference. Every achievement was dismissed. Every birthday was a reminder of the day her real life ended. I learned early to be invisible, to take up as little space as possible. I did my own laundry by age 8, made my own meals, walked myself to school. I thought if I could just be perfect enough, quiet enough, helpful enough, maybe she'd finally see me as her daughter instead of her burden. But standing here with everything I own in trash bags, I finally understand the truth. Nothing I could have done would have changed this moment. She's been waiting 18 years for this day, counting down until she could legally wash her hands of me. The worst part? She chose my birthday on purpose. She wanted to make sure this day would be ruined forever, that I'd never be able to celebrate without remembering this moment. I pick up the bags and start walking. Behind me, I hear the curtain move as she watches to make sure I actually leave. My phone has exactly one number I can call, and thankfully, Sarah Miller answers on the second ring. Emma, what's wrong? Can you come pick me up? I'm standing in front of my house with all my stuff in garbage bags. Silence. Then, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Sarah's been my best friend since middle school, and she's the only one who truly understands what my mother is like. When other friends would say things like, "But she's your mom, she must love you deep down," Sarah would just shake her head. She'd witnessed enough of Rebecca's cold indifference to know better. When Sarah's beat-up Honda pulls up to the curb, I'm grateful she doesn't ask questions right away. She just pops the trunk and helps me load the bags. "So," she says once we're driving, "your 18th birthday got interesting. That's one way to put it." I lean my head against the window. She said I'm a parasite and told me to live under a bridge. Classy. Even for Rebecca, that's pretty brutal. Sarah pulls into her family's driveway. The Miller's house is everything mine never was. Warm, lived in, with family photos covering every surface and the smell of something homemade always coming from the kitchen. Mrs. Miller appears in the doorway before we even finish unloading. "Emma, honey, what happened?" "Rebecca finally did it," Sarah explains, shouldering one of my bags. "Threw her out on her birthday." Mrs. Miller's face hardens. That woman. She wraps me in a hug that smells like vanilla and fabric softener. "You'll stay here as long as you need." That night, lying on an air mattress in Sarah's room, I stare at the ceiling and plan my next move. I have $847 saved from my part-time job at the diner, and I know I can't impose on the Millers forever. "You know what the crazy thing is?" I whisper to Sarah in the dark. "I keep waiting to feel sad about this. But honestly, I feel relieved. That's not crazy. You've been walking on eggshells your whole life." She's right. For the first time in 18 years, I don't have to worry about setting Rebecca off. I don't have to watch every word, monitor my facial expressions, or apologize for existing. "Tomorrow I'm going to ask for more shifts at the diner," I tell Sarah. And I saw a posting for a babysitting job near downtown. "Emma, you don't have to figure everything out tonight." But I do. Because for the first time in my life, I'm completely responsible for myself. It's terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. The next morning, Mrs. Miller makes me pancakes shaped like hearts. It's such a small gesture, but it makes my throat tight. This is what a mother's love looks like. The diner smells like grease and coffee. And after 2 weeks of double shifts, I smell like it too. My manager, Carl, is a gruff 50-something who runs this place like a military operation, but he's fair. You want more hours? He asks when I approach him during the lunch rush. You sure? Most girls your age are worried about prom and college applications. I need the work, I tell him simply. He studies my face for a moment. All right, you can have the breakfast shift too. 4 a.m. start time. Think you can handle that? Yes, sir. The babysitting job is across town with the Henderson family. 2 kids, ages 6 and 9, and parents who travel frequently for work. The pay is decent, but the commute eats into my earnings. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep most days, but I'm making it work. Coffee becomes my best friend, and I learn to sleep on buses between jobs. Sarah watches me with growing concern. Emma, you're killing yourself. When's the last time you had a full night's sleep? I'm fine, I insist, though we both know it's not true. My hands shake from exhaustion and caffeine, and I've lost weight I couldn't afford to lose. But I'm also proud. Every dollar I earn is mine. Nobody can take it away or use it as leverage against me. When I count my growing savings each night, I feel something I've never experienced before. Hope. The hardest part isn't the exhaustion, it's the loneliness. At the diner, I serve families who laugh together over pancakes. At the Hendersons, I watch their kids get bedtime stories and goodnight hugs. These glimpses into normal family life make my chest ache. One evening, little Katie Henderson asks me, Emma, do you have a mommy? I do, I tell her, braiding her hair. But we don't live together anymore. That's sad. I would miss my mommy. Yeah, I think. But you can only miss something you actually had. 3 weeks into my new routine, I'm walking home from the bus stop when I see a for rent sign on a small house. It's in a rough neighborhood, but the price is right for someone splitting it 3 ways. I call the number that night. The landlord, Mr. Peterson, is hesitant when he hears my age. You got references? Proof of income? I can provide both, I tell him, surprising myself with how professional I sound, and I can pay first month's rent and deposit up front. There's a pause. You sound too good to be true for an 18-year-old. What's the catch? No catch. I just need a place to live and I take care of what's mine. We set up a meeting for the next day. As I hang up, I realize this could be it. My first real step toward independence. The house at 847 Maple Street isn't much to look at. Peeling paint, a yard that's more weeds than grass, and a front porch that tilts slightly to one side. But when Mr. Peterson opens the door and shows me the small room that could be mine, I see potential. Previous tenants left it pretty rough, he admits, gesturing at the stained carpet and holes in the walls. But if you girls are willing to do some fixing up, I'll take $50 off each person's monthly rent. The other 2 roommates are Julie, a 22-year-old community college student, and Maria, a 19-year-old who works at the grocery store. Neither of them blinks when I explain I'm 18 and working 2 jobs. Honestly, Julie says, you probably have more stable income than most people our age. We shake hands on it. The room is tiny, barely big enough for a twin bed and a dresser, but it's mine. When I sign the lease with Mr. Peterson, my hands shake slightly as I write my name. First time renting? He asks. Yes, sir. Well, you seem like a responsible kid. Don't make me regret this. Moving day is just me, Sarah, and her dad loading furniture from thrift stores into his pickup truck. A mattress from Goodwill, a desk someone was throwing away, a lamp with a crooked shade that gives decent light. It's not much, I tell Sarah as we survey my new room. Are you kidding? This is amazing. You did this, Emma. You're 18 and you're completely independent. That night, lying on my thrift store mattress in my tiny room, I feel something I've never experienced before. Peace. No one can walk through that door uninvited. No one can scream at me for existing. No one can tell me I don't belong here. I call in sick to the diner the next day, something I've never done, and spend the morning cleaning. I scrub every surface, patch the holes in the walls with spackling compound. I watched a YouTube tutorial to learn how to use, and paint over the stains. When Julie comes home from class, she stops in my doorway. Whoa, this doesn't even look like the same room. I like things clean, I tell her, admiring my handiwork. No, I mean, you made it look like an actual home. Like someone lives here who cares about it. That comment stays with me. Someone who cares about it. For 18 years, I lived in a house where I wasn't allowed to care about anything, where any attachment I formed could be used against me. Now I have a space that's truly mine, and I'm discovering I have strong opinions about things like paint colors and furniture arrangement. Who knew? The extra $50 a month from the rent reduction helps more than Mr. Peterson probably realizes. I put it straight into savings, watching the numbers grow week by week. But the best part of living here isn't the money I'm saving. It's the normalcy. Julie and Maria and I split grocery bills and take turns cleaning common areas. We watch movies together on Friday nights and share leftover takeout. For the first time in my life, I live with people who are happy to see me come home. 2 years into living on Maple Street, I've hit my stride. The breakfast shift at the diner has become my specialty, and Carl trusts me to train new employees. The Henderson family loves me so much they've recommended me to 3 other families. But I want more. The community college offers night classes, and I've been eyeing their business administration program. It would mean less babysitting money, but potentially bigger opportunities down the line. You sure about this? Carl asks when I tell him I need to adjust my schedule. School's expensive, and you've got a good thing going here. I appreciate everything you've taught me, I tell him, but I don't want to be a waitress forever. He grins. Fair enough, you've got more ambition than most kids who come through here. The first semester is brutal. Between classes, the diner, and reduced babysitting hours, I'm stretched thin financially. I survive on ramen noodles and peanut butter sandwiches, but I make it through. My business communications professor, Dr. Martinez, pulls me aside after class one day. Emma, your presentation on small business marketing was exceptional. Have you considered applying for the business internship program downtown? I didn't know there was one. She hands me a flyer. Morrison & Associates. They're a mid-sized marketing firm that offers paid internships. The application deadline is next week. That night, I spend hours crafting my application. I have no traditional qualifications, but I have something else. Real-world experience managing my own life and finances since 18. The interview is at their downtown office, in a building with actual marble floors and elevators that require key cards. I wear my one professional outfit, a black blazer and skirt set I found at a consignment shop. The interviewer, Ms. Rodriguez, is a sharp woman in her 40s who asks pointed questions about my experience and goals. I see you've been working since you were 16, she observes, scanning my resume. What drives that work ethic? Necessity, I answer honestly, but also pride. I like the feeling of taking care of myself. She smiles. That's refreshing. Most applicants talk about passion and dreams. You're talking about responsibility. 3 days later, she calls to offer me the position. The pay is enough that I can quit one of my babysitting jobs and still cover my expenses. On my first day at Morrison & Associates, I sit in a real office with a computer and a desk phone. The work is challenging, researching market trends, helping prepare client presentations, organizing campaigns, but I love it. After 6 months, Ms. Rodriguez calls me into her office. We'd like to offer you a full-time position after graduation. Starting salary would be $35,000 a year. I have to sit down. $35,000. More money than I ever imagined making. There's just one requirement, she continues. You'd need to relocate. We're opening a new branch office in Seattle, and we want you to help launch it. Seattle, 3,000 miles away from everything I know. From Sarah, from the Millers, from the little life I've built here, but also 3,000 miles away from Rebecca. When do you need an answer? I ask. Take your time. This is a big decision. That night, I sit in my tiny room at 847 Maple Street and think about how far I've come. 4 years ago, I was standing on a sidewalk with garbage bags. Now I'm being offered a career that could change everything. I think I know what my answer will be. The acceptance letter from the University of Washington's evening MBA program arrives the same week I get confirmation about the Seattle position. Everything is falling into place so perfectly, it almost feels surreal. I'm packing my apartment when my phone rings with an unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Emma? The voice is older, shakier than I remember, but unmistakable. Rebecca. My hand tightens on the phone. In the 5 years since she kicked me out, I've heard nothing. No birthday calls, no Christmas cards, no acknowledgement that I exist. How did you get this number? I asked around. Your friend Sarah's mother gave it to me. I make a mental note to have words with Mrs. Miller later. What do you want? I need to see you. Her voice cracks slightly. It's important. I can't imagine anything you have to say that would be important to me. Please, Emma, I know I don't deserve it, but I'm asking you to meet me, just once. There's something in her tone I've never heard before. Desperation, fear. It's so unlike the Rebecca I know that curiosity gets the better of me. One meeting, public place, 1 hour. Thank you. There's a coffee shop on 5th Street. I'll pick the place, I interrupt. Rosario's Diner on Elm. Tomorrow at 3. She agrees immediately, which tells me exactly how desperate she is. The Rebecca I knew never let anyone else make the decisions. I spend the next 24 hours wondering what could possibly have happened to bring her back into my life. Part of me hopes she wants to apologize, to somehow repair the damage she spent 18 years creating, but a bigger part of me knows better. The next day, I arrive at Rosario's early and choose a table near the back. When Rebecca walks in, I barely recognize her. She's lost weight, her hair is gray, and she moves carefully, like someone much older than her 52 years. She slides into the seat across from me without small talk. You look good. Successful. Thank you. I don't return the compliment because it wouldn't be true. I suppose you're wondering why I called. The thought had crossed my mind. She fidgets with her coffee cup. Emma, I'm sick. My kidneys are failing, and I need a transplant. And there it is. Not an apology, not regret, not a desire to reconnect with her daughter. She needs something from me. I'm sorry to hear that. I say carefully. The doctors say a living donor would be ideal. A family member. Her eyes meet mine for the first time. You're the only family I have. The audacity is breathtaking. After 5 years of silence, after 18 years of emotional abuse, after throwing me out on my birthday with garbage bags, she wants my kidney. You want me to give you my kidney, I repeat slowly. I know it's a lot to ask. It's not a lot to ask. It's everything to ask. She launches into what sounds like a rehearsed speech about forgiveness and second chances, about how we're family despite everything, about how this could be a new beginning for us. I listen without interrupting, watching this woman who made my childhood a living hell now begging for my help. When she finishes, I lean back in my chair. I'll think about it. Her face lights up with hope. Really? I said I'll think about it. That's all I'm promising. As I drive home, one thought echoes in my mind. After all these years, Rebecca still sees me as someone whose purpose is to solve her problems. But maybe, just maybe, this could be my chance to finally get the mother I always wanted. Or maybe I'm just setting myself up for the biggest betrayal of all. 3 weeks of sleepless nights later, I'm sitting in Dr. Hassan's office learning about kidney transplants. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm getting a medical education about saving the life of someone who spent 18 years trying to destroy mine. The surgery carries standard surgical risks, Dr. Hassan explains, sliding pamphlets across his desk. But you're young and healthy. Recovery time is typically 6 to 8 weeks. And after that, you live a completely normal life with one kidney. Millions of people do. Rebecca sits beside me, nodding along like we're planning a vacation together instead of major surgery. She's been playing the reformed mother role for 3 weeks now, calling to check on me, sharing childhood memories she claims to treasure, apologizing for mistakes she made raising me. It's a performance worthy of an Oscar, and part of me wants desperately to believe it's real. The important thing, Dr. Hassan continues, is that you're making this decision freely, without coercion. Emma, do you feel pressured in any way? I look at Rebecca, who gives me an encouraging smile. No pressure, I tell him. After the appointment, Rebecca suggests lunch at a nearby restaurant. My treat, she insists, which is ironic since she's been unemployed for 2 years. Over salad she barely touches. She talks about our future. After I recover, maybe we could take a trip together. You've been working so hard, you deserve a vacation. That sounds nice, I say, though something feels off about the way she's mapping out our post-surgery relationship. And I was thinking, maybe I could move closer to Seattle. Start fresh somewhere new. Red flags go up in my mind, but I push them down. Maybe I'm being paranoid. Maybe people really can change. That evening, I call Sarah to update her. Emma, are you absolutely sure about this? She asks. Because once you do this, there's no taking it back. I know, but Sarah, what if this is the thing that finally fixes us? What if saving her life proves that I'm worth loving? The silence on her end tells me everything I need to know about how naive that sounds. And what if it doesn't? She asks gently. I don't have an answer for that. 2 days before surgery, I'm finishing up loose ends at work when Miss Rodriguez calls me into her office. I heard about your surgery, she says. Family donor situation? Something like that. Well, take all the time you need to recover. Your position will be waiting when you're ready. Her kindness almost makes me cry. This is what care from a mother figure should feel like. The night before surgery, Rebecca calls to thank me again. Emma, I know I haven't been the mother you deserved, but I want you to know how grateful I am, not just for this, but for who you've become despite everything. Despite everything. Even in her gratitude, she can't resist reminding me how damaged I should be. You're welcome, Mom. It's the first time I've called her that in years. What do you think will happen next? Drop a comment below. Do you believe people can really change, or should Emma trust her instincts? Surgery day arrives gray and drizzly, which feels appropriate for the most surreal morning of my life. I'm about to voluntarily give up an organ to someone who treated me like a burden for 18 years. Rebecca and I check in at the hospital at 6 a.m. She's nervous, fidgeting with her purse and making small talk with the nurses. I'm surprisingly calm, maybe because I've already made peace with my decision. Emma Torres? A nurse calls my name, and I stand up. Actually, it's Emma Morrison now. I correct her. I legally changed my last name 3 years ago, taking my grandmother's maiden name instead. One more way of separating myself from Rebecca's legacy. The nurse makes a note. Of course, ready. The pre-op process is a blur of forms, IV insertions, and medical personnel explaining procedures I've already had explained a dozen times. Dr. Hassan stops by to check on both of us. Any last-minute questions or concerns? How long until we know if it worked? Rebecca asks. The kidney should begin functioning immediately if all goes well. We'll know within the first few hours post-surgery. I'm wheeled into the operating room thinking about how different this day could have been. If Rebecca had been a loving mother, this would be a beautiful act of devotion between family members. Instead, it feels like one final attempt to earn love from someone incapable of giving it. The anesthesia takes hold, and I slip into darkness wondering if I'll wake up with a mother who finally sees me as worthy of love. I come to in recovery several hours later, groggy and sore but alert enough to ask the important question. How did it go? Perfectly, the recovery nurse tells me. Your kidney is functioning beautifully in the recipient. You did a wonderful thing today. Relief floods through me. Whatever happens between Rebecca and me now, at least I know I saved her life. Can I see her? I ask. The nurse checks my chart. Let me check on visitor restrictions for the recipient. She leaves and returns a few minutes later with a strange expression. I'm sorry, but the recipient has requested no visitors at this time. I'm sorry, what? She's asked for no visitors. Family members sometimes need space to process the magnitude of what's happened. Space to process. Right. I tell myself it's shock, that she's overwhelmed by gratitude and needs time to find the right words. But something cold settles in my stomach. I spend the next 2 days in the hospital asking about Rebecca's condition and being told she's recovering well, but still not accepting visitors. Not even from me. On discharge day, I'm slowly getting dressed when Dr. Hassan stops by. Emma, you're healing beautifully. Any questions about aftercare? Just one. How is my mother doing? His pause is barely perceptible, but I catch it. She's recovering well. Discharged yesterday, actually. Discharged? Yesterday? Yes, her recovery was quite rapid. Very fortunate. I stare at him. She's been gone for a day and nobody told me? I assumed you knew. Family members usually coordinate these things. Right. Family members who actually function like a family would coordinate these things. I finish getting dressed in silence, my hands shaking slightly as I button my shirt. Rebecca left the hospital without seeing me, without thanking me, without even asking how I was doing. The ride home feels like the longest trip of my life. Back in my Seattle apartment, I spend 3 days waiting for the phone to ring. Surely Rebecca will call to check on me, to thank me properly, to explain why she couldn't visit in the hospital. The silence is deafening. On day 4, I break down and call her. Emma! She sounds surprised to hear from me. How are you feeling? Like I just had major surgery. How are you feeling? Oh, wonderful. The doctors say the kidney is working perfectly. I have so much energy already. That's great, Mom. I was wondering why you didn't want visitors in the hospital. A pause. Oh, you know how I hate hospitals. All those germs and sick people. I just wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. The explanation sounds reasonable enough, but something in her tone sets off alarm bells. Well, maybe we could get together now that we're both home. I'd love to see how you're doing. Actually, Emma, I'm pretty tired still. The recovery is more exhausting than I expected. Maybe in a few weeks? A few weeks. I just gave this woman my kidney and she needs a few weeks to see me. Sure, Mom. Take care of yourself. Thanks, sweetheart. And thank you again for everything. She hangs up quickly, like she can't wait to get off the phone. I sit in my living room staring at the surgical scars on my abdomen and finally admit what I've been avoiding. Nothing has changed. Rebecca got what she needed from me and now she's done. Just like always. 2 weeks later, I'm feeling strong enough to return to work when Sarah calls with news. Emma, I ran into Mrs. Peterson at the grocery store yesterday. She said she saw your mother at the casino last weekend. The casino? Yeah, apparently she was there with some guy named Frank, and she was telling everyone about how she got a new lease on life. Literally bragging about the kidney transplant. Bragging. She's bragging about getting my kidney while she can't spare 5 minutes to see how I'm recovering. She also mentioned that your mom has been posting all over social media about her miraculous recovery and how grateful she is to her anonymous donor. Anonymous donor. I laugh bitterly. Even in her gratitude, she can't acknowledge that it was me. Emma, are you okay? I'm fine. Actually, I'm perfect. I finally understand exactly who Rebecca is. That night, I write a letter I never intend to send. I pour out 5 years of hope, 3 weeks of naive optimism, and a lifetime of disappointment onto paper. When I'm finished, I feel lighter somehow. The next morning, I delete Rebecca's number from my phone. If she wants to pretend she got her kidney from an anonymous donor, then that's exactly what she'll get from me going forward. Anonymity. 3 months pass in blissful silence. I throw myself back into work with renewed energy, earning a promotion and a significant raise. My social life flourishes as I stop making excuses to stay available for Rebecca's hypothetical calls. I'm having dinner with colleagues when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Emma, this is Frank Peterson. It takes me a moment to place the name. Rebecca's new boyfriend. Okay? Look, I know this is awkward, but Rebecca asked me to call. She's been trying to reach you for weeks. I haven't received any calls from her. She says your number's been disconnected or something. Anyway, she really wants to see you. I switched carriers last month and got a new number. Best accidental decision I ever made. What does she want? She didn't say exactly. Just that it's important, and she needs to talk to her daughter. Her daughter. 6 months ago, those words might have made me hopeful. Now they just sound manipulative. Frank, I appreciate you calling, but I'm not interested in reconnecting. But she's your mother. She's someone who gave birth to me. There's a difference. I hang up and immediately block the number. 2 weeks later, I'm leaving work when I spot a familiar figure in the parking lot. Rebecca, looking healthier than I've ever seen her, leans against a car that definitely isn't hers. Emma, please, just 5 minutes. How did you find out where I work? I hired someone. Look, I know you're upset. Upset? I laugh. Rebecca, I'm not upset. I'm done. But we're family. After what you did for me, we're connected forever. You mean after what I did for an anonymous donor? Because that's how you described it to everyone, right? Her face flushes. I was protecting your privacy. No, you were protecting yourself from having to acknowledge that your daughter saved your life. She takes a step closer. Emma, I made mistakes, but we can fix this. I have a proposal that could benefit both of us. Of course she does. I'm listening. Frank and I are starting a small business, health and wellness consulting. With your marketing background and my personal experience with organ transplants, we could really help people. Unbelievable. She wants to monetize my kidney donation. You want me to help you profit from our transplant story? It's not like that. We'd be helping people navigate the donor process, sharing hope and inspiration, while conveniently leaving out the part where you abandoned your daughter for 18 years and only contacted her when you needed her organs. Emma, you're being dramatic. And there it is. The dismissive tone that defined my childhood. I'm being dramatic for having feelings about being used and discarded. Rebecca, here's my counterproposal. Lose my number, stay away from my workplace, and pretend I died on the operating table. Because as far as you're concerned, I did. I walk toward the building, but she calls after me. Emma, please. I need your help. The medical bills are piling up, and Frank's idea could really work. I turn back slowly. You need my help? Where have I heard that before? This is different. No, it's not. It's exactly the same. You only contact me when you need something, and when you're done using me, I cease to exist. That's not true. Then tell me one thing. Just one thing you know about my life right now that isn't related to our transplant. Silence. Do you know where I live? What I do for fun? Whether I'm dating anyone? Do you know anything about the daughter whose kidney saved your life? More silence. That's what I thought. Goodbye, Rebecca. This time when I walk away, she doesn't follow. I thought that parking lot conversation would be the end of it, but I underestimated Rebecca's persistence. Over the next month, she tries everything, showing up at my apartment building, having friends call me, even contacting my old co-workers to try to get messages to me. Each attempt makes her desperation more obvious and my resolve stronger. The breaking point comes on a Saturday morning, when I find her sitting in the lobby of my building, crying dramatically for the benefit of anyone who'll listen. My own daughter won't speak to me, she's telling Mrs. Chen from 4B. After everything I've done for her, this is how she repays me. Everything she's done for me. That's rich. Rebecca, you need to leave. My voice is calm, which seems to surprise her. Emma, thank goodness. I've been waiting here for 2 hours. I'm calling building security. Wait, please. Just hear me out. I'm desperate here. Frank left me. I'm behind on rent and the medical bills are crushing me. I need help, and you're the only family I have. There it is. The real reason for all this sudden maternal concern. That sounds difficult, I say evenly. Hope flickers in her eyes. You'll help me? No, but I'm your mother. You're a stranger who shares my DNA. If you were truly a stranger asking for help, I might consider it. But you're not just any stranger. You're someone who spent 18 years teaching me I was worthless, then threw me away the moment you legally could. Mrs. Chen has stopped pretending to check her mail and is now openly listening. Then you came back 5 years later, not because you missed me or loved me, but because you needed my organs. And the moment you got what you wanted, I stopped existing again. I made mistakes. You made choices. Every single day for 18 years, you chose to treat me like I was less than human. When I was 18, you chose to throw me away like garbage. When you needed my kidney, you chose to manipulate me instead of being honest. When I was recovering from surgery, you chose to disappear without a word. My voice remains steady throughout this recitation, which seems to disturb her more than yelling would. But I'm your mother, she repeats weakly. No, Rebecca. You're the woman who gave birth to me. A mother is someone who loves their child, protects them, celebrates their achievements, comforts them when they're hurt. You did none of those things. I turn to walk toward the elevator. Emma, please, I'm begging you. I pause with my hand on the call button. Rebecca, here's the thing about begging. It only works if the person you're begging actually cares about your well-being. I care about you exactly as much as you cared about me for the first 18 years of my life. What's that supposed to mean? It means I hope you survive. But I have no interest in helping you thrive, just like you felt about me. The elevator arrives and I step inside. As the doors close, I see Rebecca's face crumple in genuine distress. For the first time in my life, I don't feel guilty about causing her pain. I feel free. 6 months later, I'm in my new condo's home office when the doorbell rings. Through the security monitor, I see a man I don't recognize holding an official-looking envelope. Emma Morrison? I'm serving you with papers regarding Rebecca Torres. My heart skips, but I open the door. What kind of papers? Legal notice. She's claiming you have a duty to provide financial support due to your family relationship and the medical procedure you underwent. I almost laugh as I sign for the papers. Even now, Rebecca is trying to use my kidney donation against me. My lawyer, Jennifer Walsh, reviews the documents the next day. This is completely frivolous, she assures me. Adult children have no legal obligation to support parents, especially given the documented history of abandonment. She abandoned me at 18. Legally, how is that going to look? In your favor. I'll need character witnesses who can testify about the nature of your relationship and will want to document her pattern of contact only when she needed something. The case never makes it to court. Rebecca's attorney withdraws after reviewing the evidence. Hospital records showing she refused to see me post-surgery, social media posts where she claimed an anonymous donor, and statements from Sarah and Mrs. Miller detailing the childhood abandonment. But the lawsuit tells me everything I need to know about Rebecca's current situation. She's desperate enough to try legal extortion. A month after the papers are served, Sarah calls with an update. I heard through my mom that Rebecca is working at a call center now. Apparently, she's sharing a studio apartment with some woman she met at work. Good for her, I say. And I mean it. She's taking care of herself. You're really not curious about how she's doing? Honestly? I hope she's healthy and able to work. I hope my kidney continues to function perfectly. But beyond that basic human concern, no, I'm not curious. It's the truth. Rebecca has become like a distant news story to me. Interesting in an abstract way, but not personally relevant. 2 years pass. I get engaged to David, a fellow marketing executive who makes me laugh and has never once suggested I owe my biological mother anything. We're planning our wedding when I get an unexpected call. Emma, this is Dr. Hassan. I hope you remember me. Of course. Is everything okay? I'm calling because Rebecca Torres listed you as her emergency contact for her annual transplant follow-up appointments. She missed her last appointment, and we can't reach her. Emergency contact. After everything that's happened, she still listed me as her emergency contact. Dr. Hassan, I appreciate the call, but Rebecca and I haven't spoken in over 2 years. I'm not her emergency contact by choice. I understand. Would you like me to remove you from her records? Yes, please. May I ask who should be listed instead? I think about Rebecca sitting in that shared studio apartment, probably alone except for a roommate she barely knows. No Frank, no family, no one who cares enough to drive her to medical appointments. This is the natural consequence of a lifetime of burning bridges. I don't know, I tell Dr. Hassan honestly. That's not my problem to solve. After I hang up, David finds me in our kitchen. Everything okay? Yeah, just someone from my past trying to make their problems mine. He wraps his arms around me from behind. Want to talk about it? Not really, but I do want to finish planning our wedding. Did you confirm the caterer? We spend the evening discussing flowers and table arrangements, building something beautiful together. My phone sits on the counter, silent, and I realize I don't even wonder if Rebecca will try to call. That chapter of my life is closed, and I wrote the ending myself. If this story resonated with you, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories about breaking free from toxic family dynamics and building the life you deserve. Remember, you don't owe anyone your kidney, your forgiveness, or your future just because you share DNA. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away. Some bridges are meant to burn, and sometimes the person holding the match needs to be you.